wait for this to go on. Is it going to go on? There we go, streaming. We got the green light, so let's get this started. Um, no, and as always, I forgot to tweet about this real quick. Oh, seriously, why does the tweet information not get the correct stuff? Quite frustrating. All right, let's get this started. Greetings, welcome to the basement. I am Langard, as always. And in today's stream, I'm going to take a little bit more focused look at getting an interior layout set up. For those of you looking for more tightly focused videos, I will be taking the recorded footage from this stream and editing it into a much more condensed, focused version. So if you are more interested in that, then that will be coming at some point, just to let you know. But for those of you that want to see a little bit more sort of stream of conscious, go with the editor, complete with all of the mistakes I am sure I am going to make, well, then hang around. Seems like a fair few of you have been enjoying the first video. I hope you guys enjoy this one equally. Okay, enough chitter-chatter for me. Let's get going. Let's see here. A couple of technical details first. The location of your data folder. If you are new to modding Skyrim, you may not be familiar with the location of your data folder. It is going to be located under your Steam library, Steam apps, Common, Fallout 4, and then data. And this is where your ESP files or your ESP files are going to go. Unless you are an experienced Creation Kit veteran, leave the rest of these files alone. You mess these up and you get to re-download them. So be careful with this. And I'm actually going to completely just get rid of test vault here because it's pretty much junk. It was the very first thing I did, and I made some pretty bad mistakes in there, so I just need to get rid of that. Okay. Now, whenever you first start modding, you have to open up your Fallout 4 master file. You can get this by a couple of ways. You can go File, Data, or you can click on this little open folder here. This is also where you set your active mod file. So I'm going to double click on that, get my check mark, click OK. You never want to modify your master file directly, by the way. That is very, very bad because, well, one, you're not going to be able to distribute your mod. You can't upload a copy of the master file. It will not let you do that. Two, if you do directly modify your master file, then you run a very high risk of breaking other mods that you bring into your system, and or your mod's not going to work correctly when it goes over to somebody else's system. So just never mess with that master file. It is a bad idea. So while we're waiting for this to finally decide that it's worth loading, I'm going to focus on creating an interior area with a couple of different kit pieces. I'm going to focus on creating a vault and then a broken door that will lead into a cave system, because kit bashing is a really important part of this creation stuff. So all right, we are done. We have our traditional huge list of warnings, which we are going to utterly ignore. All right, so the first thing I like to do when starting a new project or a new mod is immediately save the plugin to a new name. So I'm going to call this Vault. What's a good vault? 198. Why not? Vault 198. It's probably a good idea, by the way, to actually double check to make sure your vault number isn't in use before creating a vault number. But yeah, with the vault numbering system, it's pretty unlikely you're going to get an overlap with somebody else. It's still a good idea, though, to check. All right. And then I'm going to verify by going to File Data that my Vault 198 is my active file. That's quite important because I want to make sure any changes that are coming in go into that. All right. And I meant to click Cancel, not OK, because now it's going to try to re-verify the master data file. What are we? 5 minutes in, I'm already making goofs. Yay! All right, hopefully it'll go faster since it has already done this once. Control F5, Control Shift Drag will deselect any selected reference. All right. Well, while we're waiting on that, I have started making a few minor modifications to the wiki. I have added in the Creation Kit keyboard mapping page. Basically, all I've done is copied over Skyrim's. I am sure that some of these don't work as advertised, but so far, these have all been correct and have worked. So, as time goes on, we'll be able to verify whether or not those are functioning correctly. Get back over there, thank you. I got that on my other window. All right, so good. That did go fast. All right, so creating a new interior cell. In past Bethesda videos, they have recommended taking an existing cell, duplicating it, and deleting everything out of there. I have encountered numerous issues attempting to do that with this version of the Creation Kit, so I would not recommend finding an existing cell and doing a right-click and duplicate cell. I would strongly recommend against that. Instead, what we need to do is we need to go to World and open up the Cells panel. And then from here, we can right-click and say New. And I'm going to call this Vault. And here's the problem with random vault numbers. I just completely spaced out as to what I called this vault. All right, remember, cancel this time. Cancel. 198. So right-click, New Vault 198. Okay. Now I do want the lighting information from Vault 111. And yeah, I can't resize this window? Okay, apparently I can't resize the window itself. All right. Be that way. Actually, I don't need the form ID. Scrunch you back down. There we go. Vault 111 Cryo. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at some of the settings that they have set and just kind of copy them over. So I'll be honest, I haven't verified, again, whether or not location does the same thing, so I don't want to talk about that yet. Default acoustic space and music type just sort of sets, what kind of sound modifications we have and music type, so I'm just going to copy those over. So int vault 111a, muse dungeon vault 11. You know what, we'll just copy those straight on over. So location, because I've yet to actually see a way to put in a new location, so I need to find that one. Default acoustic space. By the way, in case you were wondering, you can type and have it do the selection for you. So I know I'm looking for int for interior vault. So if I click on this drop down and then I type in reasonably fast, you can't do it too slow, INTV. Oh, hey, there we go. I'm on int vault 111a. And then music was music dungeon vault 111. Oh, hey, it's right there. Don't need to search for it. Okay. Moving on. I'm not going to do the has water because it really doesn't. Okay, lighting template. And let's come over here. Vault Cryo LT. All right, well, we'll just copy that over. And it should set all those values for us automatically. So Vault close enough. Vault 114 LT. And yep, okay. That set our color values for us. It's very important. Ambient light is quite important. You want to make sure that ambient is set correctly. Otherwise, bad things happen. And it looks like the only one I can set is the fog here, so we'll come back to those numbers. Interior data says vault 198. And let's see what other interior data they have set. And it looks like pretty much everything. Can't wait. Go ahead and copy that. Not allowed to wait inside the vault. It's too dangerous. Oh, hey, got someone. Yes, I am just starting to make the vault right now. I haven't actually started putting in any pieces yet. Alright, and so moving on over to directional and ambient, making sure that these look normal, and they do. Ambient values are slightly different, but that's not too big of a deal. And again, the whole idea behind ambient lighting is where you don't have any lights in. This is sort of your default lighting levels. So looks like we have everything set up and ready to go for the object placement. Cell view, I'm going to sort of hide you down here for the moment. I don't really need that. And let's make you a little bit bigger. Get you off into the corner a little bit. And let's expand this one out a little bit as well. All right, so again, the location of all of your static pieces. I'm not entirely sure anymore what the default collapse status is. But if you're looking at your object window is where you need to be in for all of your tile placements. So and these are all the different object categories. So let's see here, where is it? It's items. And now I'm lost because I collapsed too many things too fast. There we go. It is world objects. It's where the tiles are going to be stored. Static. And then you have all of the various static categories. Remember, static means doesn't move. That's going to be important when we come to doors. So I'm going to go into static, interiors, and normally vault will be collapsed. Vault. And I'm going to build from here. Okay, so again, the categories usually make a fairly decent amount of sense. The focus for this video is just going to be getting the vault built and functional. So I'm not going to go into a full review of all the various pieces. If you guys want to see me do a review of all the different categories and how the pieces fit together, I'd be more than willing to do that. Drop a comment. Once this video's archived up, drop a line in the comments. Let me know. But moving on. So rooms. Actually, LG rooms. For whatever reason, this one just has the outside entrance and the outside entrance exterior pieces. So I'm not entirely sure what is up with that. LG rooms. Now they've got a little bit of a naming convention going on. It's somewhat of a confusing naming convention, to be perfectly honest. But there's a pattern here. So VLT tells me that I'm in vault. LG stands for large. RM stands for room. So I am in a vault large room tile set right now. And what I am looking for is either mid or floor, because they will commonly, that's usually what they call their floor pieces, is either, well, floor or mid. Now this particular tile set's a little bit odd. If I take it out, let's see, let's take a shell. I don't want shell corner, shell wall. Let's look at a shell wall here. Actually bring a couple of, by the way, I'm double clicking. If you are unfamiliar with how I'm getting these to pop up, I am double clicking to be able to do the static previews. So these are the walls, but I don't have any floors. The best I have is corner mid, which obviously does not do me much good for floors. This particular tile set's a little bit odd in that its floors are in a separate category. It's also a little bit different in that the floor pieces and ceiling pieces are separated. Notice that if I look from the bottom, I can't see it. That's called backface culling, very common technique in games. So if I look from the backside, I can't see it, but there's nothing on top. Contrast this with the R mid piece from the Vault 101 tile set. You can see that it's got the floor and the ceiling combined in one tile. But nope, we got separate ceiling pieces for this one, which is good for flexibility, bad because it makes it a little bit more of a pain in the butt to get your ceilings done. So okay, VT floor 1 is that, and let's just bring up all of these different options here real quick. Okay, we've got trimmed. Can I shrink these windows? No, I can't. Humbug. Util. Ooh, that. Dude. I mean, I'm sure it'll look better in game, but that's the patterns on that. Okay, trimmed. What floor big? What is the difference between these two? Now the problem is you can't tell size on this. I'm assuming that just simply means big. So okay, we've got big, half trimmed, util, small trimmed. Let's see here, clear. Vault 75 clear 01. Floor rec. Floor rec hatch. I guess that's the hatch that goes in there. Rec 2 and rec hatch 2. Okay. All right. Let's close all these out. We'll just initially stick with the standard floor. Drag that in. Oh, I don't have the cell loaded. That's another thing you always have to make sure. See how the render window, I can't talk correctly, doesn't have anything there. Oh, that tells me I don't have a cell loaded, so I need to come over here, get to my vaults, and double click on this. And now it says Vault 198. So I know I am in my vault. It's also loaded on top is also another good way to make sure, because if you don't see your vault right on the top there, then it's not loaded. All right, let's try this again. Yoink. Oops, and I did not mean to do that. First, very first thing you do, on the very first piece that you drop in, you double click on it, and you make sure that position is zeroed out, the rotation is zeroed out. Because if you get off scale, you are going to be miserable. Okay, quick overview of controls for those that might have missed the first video. It's a little bit weird. Middle mouse button is panning the camera in the XZ plane. Shift and mouse is dollying around a central point, and mouse wheel by itself is zooming. The green means that this is highlighted. If I left click off, it's no longer selected. Left click, selected, fairly standard controls. To bring up properties is double click. There's a double click to bring that up. And you will always, when you first start working on a spot, want to turn off the lighting. In other words, you want this to be fully lit, so you can either click on the light bulb icon here, which looks like it came straight out of the 90s, or you press A to toggle the lighting on and off. Okay, so from here we need to go ahead and duplicate this out. So I'm going to select this with left click, Control D, And if my snap is on, things will be nice. Now, when you go and do this and it's sliding around buttery smooth, that is wrong. You want to make sure that both of your snaps are on for doing pieces. So I'm going to start off with a fairly tame 3x3 room here. And let's do 4x3. And then let's do a hallway connecting in here. So let's see what we got on halls here. Hall utility. Hall, corner, door, wall, stairs. Okay, so there's the utility, there's the one-ways. And, okay, these would be decorations, I guess. Wide hallway. So you know what? I think I'll just stick with the simpler ones. Okay. Okay, so one-way door. By the way, that doesn't mean there's actually an actual door. That just means there is a doorway there. So let's start off with this piece. Let's put it... Okay, next thing. If we pan around, you can see this is like floating like very severely. If I use F, that will drop it down to the next collision. Sometimes you all still have to tweak things. Where's my door? There's my door. Sometimes you still have to tweak things in order for it to work correctly. There we go. Now notice right now my rotating, I'm not really rotating around the thing that I'm looking at. I'm still rotating around basically this point right around here. If I want to start my rotating around the hall piece, I do a Shift F, and after that Shift F, my target is that. So, all right, let's try and build this out a little bit. This is going to be a little bit random. I haven't really planned this out yet very much. Okay, end piece. Let's cap this off. All right, that'll be a good spot to put some clutter. Let's drag another one-way piece on here. Yeah, see, this time I got to drop it down manually. Oops, too far. And by the way, two-way refers to a corner piece because it goes in two directions. Same with three-way is a T-junction, and a four-way is a cross-junction. So let's do a two-way. You want to avoid very long, You want to avoid very long sight lines. There's performance reasons for that, and very long sight lines just simply don't look very good. And let's put a three-way in right here. I like twisty, curvy things. Probably a little bit more than I should. But actually, let's put a two-way door, because I want this turned into another room. So two-way door L1. Okay, there's my door. No. One-way door, end, do not use. Okay, fine, I won't use it. Trying to find a piece. that one way end. I'd like to have an end with a door, please. But that apparently is one of my choices. Okay, well I guess we'll just do the basic hall piece here. And maybe there is a piece that I can use elsewhere. Okay, stairs. Stairs. Where are stairs? I have a stairwell. Stairwell door. No. Stairwell steps. Yeah, there we go. Steps. Door half. How do you have half a door? Ah, that's what I mean by half. So actually, going back to halls? Utility halls. Do I have utility door, one way, half. Okay, so instead of having that, I can have a one-way half. Okay, do I have a one-way half end? Of course I don't. Never mind. Okay, so back to my stairwell. Let's go, I guess, go ahead and put in a stairwell door. If it fits. There's too many little bits and pieces for it to collide with for the... Oh, you're still not there? Alright, okay, so I have now lost my piece. So what I can do is I can come back over here to my cell view, double click on something, and it'll snap my view to that something. By the way, a useful key is Y for changing camera angles. Why did they do that? I don't know. Yes, that was a horrible pun. I should feel ashamed. Now, the next big question, you always have to watch this. Do pieces line up when they are of different bits? And no, it does not. If you can see right there, if the player is standing here and looking up, they can see into the void. Never, ever, ever, ever want the player to see into the void. So let's go back to our utility, hall utility. Now there's usually a way to transition from two parts. Oh, consoles. No, no, don't want. I probably could hide it. But Ah, here we go. This might be able to do the trick. Yeah. No, that does not do the trick. Ah. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the not fun part of learning the tile sets. Yeah, that's just the end I've been using elsewhere. Oops, sorry, hit the mic. All right. And vault hall door utility end. Okay, there we go. They were in a different spot. By the way, filtering. Filtering is a lifesaver. What I did here is I typed in end on filter, and now I see only the pieces that have the word end in them someplace, obviously not case sensitive. And it can, and again, obviously, it can be in the middle of the thing. And so that is how I found this wonderful little util door end half. All right, so let's drop this puppy in. And now, hopefully, the matching door on stairwell. Well, I don't necessarily want the door to be on to the right or to the left. Okay, so let's... Oops. Didn't mean to click on that. That, by the way, collapses everything. And now I'm going to get to see every world object that has end in it. How lovely. Well, hopefully that's what I'll see, and it didn't just crash on me. That would be aggravating. This is making me a little nervous. Okay, help. There we go. Sort of. My object window is... Okay, now everything's not responding. Great! Rule number 75, arbitrary number, of working with the creation kit. It is not paranoia to save every 5 minutes, because it really is out to get you. And creation kit is not responding. No! No! Close the program. No, I don't want you to find solutions. It's not a day with the creation kit if it doesn't crash on you. Okay, tea break. Something like a little bit of green tea to take off the stress. All right, now let's double click on those, open them up, set my Vault 198 as my active file, hit OK, and twiddle our fingers while we wait for this to load again. This is the one problem of doing this live, is that when this inevitable hiccup happens, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt. Well, I think to speed things up a little bit, since we have undoubtedly lost everything that we did earlier, I think I'll just reconstruct the room quickly and do a very simple hallway instead of trying to make it maze-like, just so we can try and get this first video wrapped up. So we are starting to get a little bit long in the tooth here. And looking at the time, I've got Rugrats that I'm going to have to wrangle here in a moment. Kids. Alright, so... oh man, I wanted to get to layers too. Okay. Cells. Do I even still have my vault cell? No, I don't. Like I said, it is not paranoia to save every 5 minutes because the editor really is out to get you. Alright, I'm not going to talk through this. I'm just going to quickly do it. Alright, it is loaded up. Cell view, you can be tucked away again. Object window. World objects, static. Interior. Make sure, by the way, you don't go into static, because there's not much there. There's some stuff there, but don't go static. Interiors. Expand that out. Vault. There you are. Okay. Let's do this again, this time with less fail. Drag it in, double click. Everything is zeroed out. Lovely. Life is wonderful. And why did you chirp at me instead of duplicate? There we go. Excuse me. Alright, so that gives me my room. Now back over to halls. Hall utility, door. Yeah, we'll just stick with it. Okay, so door one way. And where's the door? There it is. Okay, I'll put you in the corner. Door one way in. Get down there. That should, Shift F, should be correct. Okay, it is. Alright. Oh, welcome. Hi, Grey J. I'm glad that you are finding them useful. Okay, so let's see here. And let's get a two-way in here. Two-way. Alright. There we go. And end. This time, don't screw it up. Okay, end half. Let's drag that in. Set the correct orientation. Yes, it is. Okay. Go over to stairwell. I don't want end now. Stairwell door, I believe, is just that. Yep, okay. Eek. F, snap down there. Okay, and let's zoom in. Alright, that's looking pretty good from this angle. I don't see any void leaking in. Now let's check this side for void. No, I see no void. Is that void? No, okay, that's a cable. Whew, alright. The void has been conquered. Save. It's like, now I'm paranoid again. Okay, so we've got that, and let's put some steps. Control D, Z. By the way, and I think I forgot to mention this earlier, to actually drag it up, I need to hold down Z to bring up this little widget. And yep, there we go. Matching doorway at the top. I think that's good there. Obviously the other way around. Ka-dunk. Make sure that actually does go together. And it looks like it does. Sweetness. Alright, so that's taking care of the hallway. And now we got to get these walls taken care of. Actually, what we need to do is we need to get the ceiling taken care of. This is where this particular tile set gets a little bit aggravating. Since I've got to try and select everything at once, it's going to, well, I mean, hold on. Restructure my thought. Let's actually drop in a ceiling piece so you can see what I'm talking about. Actually see it. See your vault ceiling 01. All right, good enough. Drag it in, and I can see it. Now, thankfully, when I drag it in, it does put it at the right default height. If I drag it over, if I can actually successfully find a pixel that'll let me drag, you can see that it's lining up at the height that it should be for a ceiling. So that's good, but maneuvering is a little bit of a pain. I'd have to like turn myself upside down, and now moving my mouse forward and backwards is reversed, or left and right, depending on the angle that you're actually looking at. And you know what? That's going to be just a massive pain in the butt to actually go through and put in all my individual ceiling pieces. So rather than inflict that headache on myself, I am going to select all of my floor pieces with a marquee select, just a standard left-click drag. Now I am going to end up selecting a couple of corridor pieces, to which I will just simply control left-click to deselect. Fairly standard selection tools. They at least followed that standard. I am going to duplicate the whole thing, grab Z, and move it up to about the level where it should be. And then I'm going to do a Control F. And Control F is replace. So I am going to replace, and I've got it selection only. That's important. So I'm going to replace all of these with something. Well, what am I going to replace them with? I'm going to replace them with VLT ceiling 01. This is where that typing thing is going to come in handy. So I'm going to click on the Replace With drop-down and type in VLT ceiling, and it jumps straight down to the appropriate item. Click OK. Replace 12 objects. Excellent. Oh, and it looks like it's a little bit too high, so drag it down. Now I've got the whole floor in there, or ceiling. All right, so let's... So we've gotten the floors. Now we got to put in our shells. So I'm looking for the RM shells. Actually, I'm just going to see if we have something besides large. So I'm going to do RM shell for my filter. And I'm going to look at the entire vault list. I'm going to click on vault so I can see the entire list. And large all the way down. Okay, fine, whatever. Let's take a look at our wall mid first. That looks appropriate. Let's yoink that in. And it's not uncommon sometimes for pieces to be sunk in a little bit. I think this is one of those things. Yeah, this needs to be sunk in. I think something about that is bugging me, but you know what? It works, and I am not going to argue with it at the moment. And I need a corner, so large room corner. Now this is an outside corner because the corner's pointing outside away from the room. So corner, I was just looking at it. Corner out mid. Oh, nope, I have it. This one has it reversed. Corner in mid. Okay, it's in corners. All right. I said the wrong thing. There we go. Now, sometimes we have different varieties. Like we'll have corner in mid left and corner in mid right. I'll probably eventually get to the workbench, but my personal interest is far more in the level design, so I'll probably go through all the level design first before starting to work on workbench type stuff. Because that is something that's going to require quite a bit of also research on my part as well, because that is a totally new system that we're all going to have to figure out. It is certainly something on the list of things to do. Okay, and it's always important to check to make sure things are fitting together. This particular tile set is fairly easy to use because it doesn't have multiple corner pieces and multiple wall pieces. Did I do my Control D or not? No, I did not. Control D. But other tile sets will not be so forgiving. Control D. All right, just a few more walls here. Control D. All right, there. Control D. Control D. And okay, I've got. Whoops. I've got a problem with my door. Is what I got. Do I have a corner with the door? Shell door mid. Let's move you out of the way. Actually, I need to go back to my hall pieces here. Hall utility. Let's get rid of that. I don't need that filter on. And I need a hall one way. I need to make sure that my utility pieces are lining up. Ooh, this is strange. Are you guys off somehow? No, that looks fine. That looks like 64, 3. Yeah, that's on the 64 boundary. That looks like that's on the 64 boundary as well. What about you? 512 is on the 64 boundary. Interesting. Alright, so let's delete that. And let's go back to our large rooms. And door. What are my door options? Shell door. Shell door mid. Alright, well, can I get that? Okay, so it lines up properly there, but do I have a little tiny baby piece that I can put in there? This should fit in just fine right here. No, it does not. Okay, fun time. Let's see here. Wall, I don't think it would be low. That just means it's a low wall. Wall mid half. But that still leaves me. That is a perplexing problem. Okay, I've got large room and large room shells. What is... Nope. Okay. We can't very well leave it like this. Custom, no. Squid window. Alright. Don't know what a squid window is, but that's apparently it. We've got plenty of venting stuff that we would have to put in on our own. Yeah, I think all the grebes and stuff. No, that would not work, because that would... That is interesting that it's offset like that. Well, actually, might be the easier solution. Is to change the grid. Or I feel like an idiot. Okay. So that was the issue. The issue is I'm silly. Yeah, no, I've been going for a while. Oh wow, 54 minutes. All right, let's get all these pieces shifted over now. Because apparently I had that. That's why you always put your doors in first before putting in your other pieces. So that way you make sure that things don't get offset like that. Okay. So super basic setup done. And let's put in some actual functional doors here and get that external transition set up, test it, and then call it a night, and we'll resume this tomorrow. Okay, so when doing doors, you have to make sure that you don't take them from static. Static doors are, well, static. They don't do much. Ooh, new world spaces. Those are fun. Actually can't wait to tear into that using LD 3T to create the terrains and everything and get that painted. Terrains are fun to work with. All right, so like I was saying, doors. You don't want to take them from static. You want to take them from door. Because if you see this symbol right here, you need to see that symbol, otherwise things are not going to work. And I want to see what we have in the way of vault doors. Because different doors are going to work better for different Shift F for different setups. So if we look at this particular one, and see here, would not be elevator. You see this door has a little panel, and it fits on there okay. But on this side, the panel does not fit okay. So this door will not work here. So door B, panel is correct, and panel is correct. Okay, this door will work. And bringing up the properties, making sure this is not locked. Okay, not locked. That is good. And that door we don't really need to do anything else with. That's just going to be ye old standard door that opens. All right, now we're going to need a door over here. Let's see if the same door type will work. We're good on that side. And we're good on that side. Okay. So that works out just fine. All right, and now we want a loading door, because we don't want this door to actually open. Because, well, if it opens, we'll see the void. Void's not good. So we will take the resource load door. Notice the difference here. This door doesn't have a backside, which makes sense. We'll never see the backside of that door. And on this one, we'll open it up, and we have to set our teleport property. So we're going to check teleport to let the game know that this thing does indeed teleport us. And then we need to find a teleport location. And I am going to cheat because I don't want to actually set up a working thing. So let's see here, workshop. No, actually, where was that? Yeah, we'll just use Vault. Vault 11 exit teleport location. And I think all of these options are fine. Okay. Oh yeah, and there's one last thing we got to put in here. Lights. It's kind of a little dark. Now, you normally want your lights to make sense. Like actually have some kind of source for the light. But to get this moving, interior, let's just take that out. Vault underlight animated flicker. You know, I don't particularly want that. Let's just look at all of our lights. Default light cool 2. That's kind of my default light. I like to use that one. It's used a lot. So I'll just drag this in, and there's light. Now, when dealing with lights, you generally do not want to be on snap. So you can position things a little bit better. By the way, I press T for top-down to switch that in. So here, adding weapon attachments. It's on my list of things to research. I have not yet had a chance to try to delve into too many of the new systems yet, so it's definitely something I want to take a look at. But for the moment, I'm just trying to reacclimatize myself with the creation kit, because it has been a fair few years since I have used it. All right, let's now also normally you would not do what I'm doing right now in scaling the light up. What I did there is I pressed and held S and then left click drag. You would normally not scale up the light like this. Fewer lights adding into the light scene is better than one gargantuan light to light up the whole room. But for testing purposes, this is much faster. Oops. Control D. Control D. Control D. Control D. Oh, missed it. Ah! Stop randomly clicking. Okay. So now I can actually see everything. Say that I still haven't figured out what these two buttons are supposed to do. Hot loaded into game on PC and go to selection on PC. I haven't actually gotten either one of those buttons to do anything yet. So I don't know. I really don't. Save and push plugin to PC. I am assuming that's what this one did, but I'm not entirely sure. All right, so let's test. Game development is a very iterative process, and so it's important to constantly test what you're doing. And again, I apologize for the small window and horrific video quality on the game itself. I am in desperate need of a new video card. All right, so I need to make sure my mod is activated. When you are testing mods, unless you want to make sure that your mod plays nice with some other community mod, I would highly, highly recommend not having anything else loaded. Because you don't want to be trying to debug some weird interaction. Wait until the mod's finished before you do that. Okay, so done, fine, back. Yeah, I know, you need to reload my files. Yeah. I like scripting, don't get me wrong. I will definitely be tearing my teeth into the scripting at some point. I'll be honest, probably in a week or two. It's going to be after I do the interior stuff. Okay, so for testing a cell, we don't have the cell linked up to the world yet, and even if we did have it linked up to the world, it might be a little bit of a pain to get your actual character to it. So you got two options. One is you can load in a character and then COC to the cell, or you can just COC to the cell just straight from this menu. As long as you don't have enemies placed yet, I would recommend just COCing from the start menu here. So to get this up, you hit tilde, which is usually in the upper left-hand corner of your keyboard, and type COC, center on cell. Oops, not test vault anymore. Vault 198. This is the cell name, not the title you gave it in the interior data. And if you see that, that means something went wrong. All right, let's double check. Do I have it activated? I do have it activated. Vault 198, okay. Did I do 192 the first time? Okay, well, I obviously did something wrong the first time. And I forgot to put my COCMaker. Humbug. But I can at least walk through, do a visual check, and really the only thing you're doing at this stage is from a player's point of view, do we have any instances of the void leaking in? We really, really do not want that void leaking in. It's very unprofessional. Yep, okay, I thought I saw something, but I didn't. And apparently our teleporter is broken. You have to quit out, by the way. You won't be able to save your mod file if the game's running, so you do have to quit out. Personally, I like to QQQ. I don't know why. It amuses me to quit out of Fallout that way. That's how I quit all of my Bethesda games. I QQQ out. I don't know why they have that in there, but it's humorous. I like it. All right, I do want to try to fix that teleport before I sign off for the night. Pardon me, I gotta get a spot of tea. Voice is starting to dry out a little bit. I should say my throat. All right. Teleport. Thought. Alrighties. I could have sworn I did this already. Whatever. Teleport checked. Teleport location name. Okay. There is no linked door. Oh, okay. Right. I'm not setting it up correct. Oh, getting to the world space. Custom world space. I want to say world spaces still have cell names. So you still should be able to COC on a world space. COC is how you teleport, period. So I believe every portion of the world space is a cell. So if I wanted to look at, let me just double check that. That's actually a good question. World spaces, Commonwealth, or not. Okay, so we got that. Let's see here. What? I'm trying to think of if I look at cell view, world spaces, Commonwealth. Oh, if you crash on me again. It crashed, I think, again. Well, thankfully, this time, I don't really have anything that's going to get lost. But yeah, to continue answering your question, Red Arrow, even within the world space has cells. And so you would COC to one of the cells that you have created in your world space. I was hoping to be able to show that, but it would seem that the editor has decided to grace us with yet another crash. I was not kidding in the slightest when I said the editor is out to get you. Okay, I am not going to wait for this to crash on me this time. Oh no, it's not crashed. It's okay. Cancel. Let's save this real quick. All right. There we go. Okay, never mind. It didn't crash. I was just being an impatient person. Okay, and we should have Sanctuary exit 2. Okay. Let me just double check. So, Sanctuary EXT. Actually, let me go ahead and load that up. And try not to get impatient as it loads. Da 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 da. I need a theme song or something that I can sing while I'm waiting for this thing. There we go. Okay, markers go away. Pressing M is a great way to make your markers disappear. Okay. And there should be COC marker heading. Yep. All right, so yeah, so that's what you would do. It's basically the same process we just saw for the interior area. You put a COC marker heading in a cell that is associated with your world space, and then you do COC cell name. So if I wanted to go to this world space cell, I would COC Sanctuary EXT. And I'll show that in just a moment. So what I'm going to do here is... Can I... No. Okay. I'm not going to be able to keep this balanced. All right. World. Cells. Can I bring up another window? Yes, I can. World space, interiors, and Vault 198. Let's load you up. Drink some tea while we're waiting. Try not to choke on the tea. Hold on, muting mic. Pro tip. When drinking tea, don't swallow the wrong way. Oh, that was not fun. Okay. What are you doing? Oh, right. I can't. Okay, I can't load from that side. Bah humbug. Okay. Interiors. Chunk. Vaults. There we go. All right, so there's two things I want to do here. One, I've got to bring back up my door here. And Sanctuary exit. And I want to choose... Oh, well, apparently I only get to choose from these references. Okay, whatever. We'll deal with it. Okay, make sure that actually took. Okay, yes. It is still set up. And we need a COC marker. Now I can never remember where the COC marker is. I think it's in miscellaneous. So what I usually do is I turn the filter to COCM, and then I come down here and select all. Never select all unless you have a filter on, because all means all. It will show you everything. And I'm going to drop that COC marker. Maybe I will drop the COC marker. Seriously? Why is that not wanting to drop the COC marker? That is most bizarre. Oh. It is dropping it. Oh! Once again, we get back to the I am silly category. I turned off my markers. And that doesn't reset when you change cells. So since I turned off markers in the sanctuary cell, my markers are still turned off. So I need to delete all of these headings that I just dropped in. And by the way, when you delete something out of here, it's not going to show up right away. So basically, you've got to switch to something else. Ahem, switch to something else. Oh, wrong one. Cell view. So switch to AA markers, switch back to my vault, and there we go. And, oops. Turn my markers back on so I can see what I'm doing and not, whoops, Control Z. There we go. Slightly off kilter, but it works. All right, so now when I COC into the cell, I will end up right here. So let's save this. Click all the buttons. Remember, it's not paranoia if it really is out to get you. And get back in. This is one part I wish they would fix. The testing loop is really kind of long. COC. And just to show, if I do sanctuary ext, I will go to that exterior cell. Which in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done that because that's going to take longer to load. But there you go. That is how you would go to a custom world space, assuming that you have at least one cell created inside of it. And we get to sit here and observe the pretty spinning armor. I should probably move this over to my SSD. That would help. Okay, and my controls are frozen again. How lovely. That is something that happens sometimes when you COC from the main menu, is that your controls get frozen. And really the best way to fix that is to quit. Not all the way out to the desktop, but just quit back to the main menu. And then COC back into where you want to be. Okay, and this time I went where I wanted to. Now, see, this time Vault Exit. That's what I expected to see the first time. So I know my teleport's set up correctly. Make sure everything else still looks okay, which it should since we didn't actually touch anything else. And now it will switch back out to the exterior area, sanctuary. There we go. For whatever reason, yeah, we've made a secret. Vault 198 is accessed by trying to close a picket fence. Go figure that one out. It's like, you want cryptic? I got cryptic. Take that, Dark Souls. Alright. Rage quit out. And well, it appears the kids took care of themselves. So, you know what? I think I will continue on here for just a little bit longer and start working on this cave that I want to put in. Kit bashing is, as it's called, it's quite useful. So I'm going to delete that out. Come back over here to objects and go into caves and delete out the filter because hey, I don't want filters. Okay. So I've got lots of stuff here. I'm going to start off with a cave hall one way. Drag that in. Let's turn my lighting back off. Whoops. Always want it to be on snap, or on grid. Well, mostly. Now, obviously, this piece is in no way, shape, or form going to line up and play nice with this vault. That just simply is not going to happen. And, dude, that cave is huge. Do I have something smaller than that? Let's see here. Hall, one way, two way, three way, four way, hall end cap. Ooh, we have a version with the floor. Let's use the version with the floor. Just ooh, what's half? And what did I just do? I somehow closed my object window. How lovely. Okay. World. Not object palette. View. Object window. Not really sure how I managed to pull that one off, but okay. Cave 1, halfway floor. Ow. Well, that's disappointing. That's just the floor. The actual cave piece is still freaking huge. Okay. What is the difference between the cave 1 half and this? What is the difference between these two here? Length of piece. Okay. So let's just get a regular one in here. Doink. Now I could get quite fancy with this, but I'm just going to try and get this to be reasonably simple. So I'm going to line it up like so. Now we could get it sort of off kilter, sort of like rotated, and then do relative snapping, but well, let's not be lazy. Let's do relative snapping. But for that, I need to look up the command for setting the snap. Control F, snap. Resnap references, Shift K. I need to set the current reference. Toggle, no, I don't need to toggle. I don't need the toggles. And that's everything. Resets the current selection to rotation 0, 0, 0. What do I have on grid then? It's just been too long since I have done this. Snaps current selection to current grid snap reference. Which, by the way, Shift K is quite useful. Toggle grid, not supported. Toggle grid snap on and off. Toggle grid rotate on and off. It's actually quite useful. You get something off grid. Shift K is a lifesaver. I want to say it's Control Q. I think trying to search for that toggles grid on and off. Shift Q. That was it. Shift Q. Toggle reference snap. Bring up a crosshair. When a reference is selected, all of the references will snap to that reference's orientation. That is what I was looking for. Shift Q. And then there's a reset. I'll figure that out later. Okay, so Shift Q. So what that means, what I'm mumbling about here, is I'm going to take this piece here, this hallway. I'm going to turn off my rotation snap, and I am going to make actually I'm going to turn off all my snaps. Yeah, we'll do that. I'm going to position it like that. Now this is obviously going to take some fixing because now I've got this mess. Now see, the problem now is if I turn snapping back on and I come here to my cave one-way floor, drop it in. Oh, hey, my floor's on the actual snap, and yeah, that's not going to work. And good luck, by the way. Guess, trying to manually guess the snap values there. So what I can do is Shift Q, right? Yes, Shift Q. So I'm going to do clear my selection, Shift Q. I get a crosshair. I'm going to put it over my floor piece, click it, grab this piece, Shift K, Shift K, and that should have put it there. Okay, was it Shift K or Control K? Snaps the current selection to the current grid snap reference. Shift Q. That should have grabbed it. Come down here. Shift K. It's not working. Shift K. Okay, it looks like Shift K is not it anymore. And of course, Help Contents takes you to the Creation Kit. How lovely. Well, in the interest of actually being able to move forward then, I am going to abandon the more creative idea, and I'm just going to stick with ye old standard. There we go. Okay, a little on the disappointing side, but what can you do? What can you do? Okay, And let's put a ramp in. So why not? Ramps are good. Let's ramp down. We are descending. Descending into the depths. Oh, come on. Now you're going to do the grid snap. Ay, ay, ay. Ack, that rotation. Okay, somebody's not on the grid here. No, 256. 896. Alright, you look good. You most certainly do not look good. Okay, figuring out what the new grid snap clear thing is of critical importance. Okay, now those two pieces are lining up correctly. Bring that down. Okay, that looks fine. And see here, ramp floor. Oops, too far. There we go. Now the cave pieces, if you'll notice, oh wow, 4 a.m. Yep, I will continue doing it. Have a good night, Jay. I'm probably not going to be lasting much longer myself. It is 10 o'clock at night for me. But getting back on track here, you'll notice on the cave pieces that they have these sort of like green ribbons running through them. That will not show in-game, and they got blue ribbons down here. Those are just guides to help you know that, okay, yeah, things are lined up properly, because if I select this and shift it off, I can see, oh, well, my ribbons aren't connected, then something's wrong. Or if it's just slightly up, I can very easily see, oh, yeah, ribbons are not connected. And then, okay, so rooms. I'll suppose you're going to like give me any pre-constructed rooms. No, but I do have 512 sized floor and ceiling pieces. So we'll just cheat. Excuse me. It'll be a lot faster to do it this way. And then I should just be able to drop a 212 ceiling piece in here. T. And I'm using X to drag that. And oddly enough, C for lining it up on the Y. Because, like I said before, Y is the camera angle. And raise that up. I'll probably need to adjust it for the walls later. And then, see here, wall. Oops, cancel. Wall 01, floor. Or just wall. Where are you? There you are. And I'll need to get my corner in, so corner in. That looks correct. And they are matching up well. Okay, so looks like I might need to shift things over a little bit. Do I have a corner in exit small? Now that's not going to really... Okay, so actually having the hallway just dead into that's probably not going to be the best. So let's go back to the halls. And let's look for exit. Nope. Door. Nope. Oh, on my half ramp, shift to floor, end cap. Most likely it's just, yep, yeah, that's just a dead end. Arch. Ah, there we go. Cave, hall, arch. Doink. Oh, hello. Go away. That was a W key. By the way, you do have a W, E, W and E for bringing up these widgets. Which, for the creation kit, no. The widgets work really good in things like Unity and Unreal, but then they were really kind of designed for that from the ground up. The creation kit, not so much. Okay, you are still kind of floaty there, mister. And now you're... Alright, so if we go back to rooms now, and room, corner, exit, small, I don't think that even remotely matches up. Yeah, not even remotely. Okay, what about wall, exit? Let's get all our exit options here. Exit small. Actually, okay, actually that does line up pretty good right there. Of course, everything is off. I think that's good. Duplicate my corner, put my corner over here. Oops, too far. And does that line up correctly? Yes, it does. All right. Okay, let's finish off this cave room here. Well, I say finish off. I mean, let's finish putting pieces in, because this poor cave is going to need a lot of love. This cave is definitely in need of some loving. So I don't know about you guys, but I, for one, generally tend to find that caves do not come in nice, neat little squares. So we are definitely going to want to rough things up. But for now, we just want something that is complete and is not going to leak void on us. I think I might have, I don't know, I can't tell if I got the ceiling. Looks like I might have the ceiling okay. Now I probably could turn up the snap so that way it snaps a little bit faster. Okay, what do we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I could quadruple the snap value and things would snap together a lot faster. I don't know, I just generally tend not to like doing that because not everything snaps on that. So like when you go to do walls and stuff like that, you'll have to change your snap settings. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to grab a light. And yoink it down into this room. Some horrible shadow artifacting going on, but again, that's because I'm being kind of silly with my lights. And you know what? I'm just going to leave that corridor dark for now. All right, so that finishes off the room. Now we have this mess to clean up. That obviously is not okay. So what can we do about it? Well, we're going to have to creatively put other pieces here to try and conceal this gap. So looking at my halls, I don't recall seeing anything referencing pillars or anything like that. So let's just look at the cave in general. Do we have any pillars? Nope. Okay. Do we have columns? We do have columns. Okay. So let's see what we got. Cave column base rock. Okay. Cave rock tall. Column regular. How does that? Oh, that's thin. Compared to what? Okay, yeah, that's thin, I guess. Why do I even want to know? Yeah, that's pretty wide. Okay. And this is where I'm going to just completely turn off snapping. Because at this point, I'm really not too concerned about the snap. Because when trying to place things like this is definitely not going to give me a good look or feel if I've got snapping turned on. And I'm not going to spend too much on this stage. Well, for one, because I've been talking for almost 2 hours, and while the tea is helping, my throat is slowly winning the battle here. And two, this is already going to be fun enough as it is to try and process. So we'll probably continue this tomorrow night after I get this little patch area just sort of patched up a little bit. Let's see here. Rubble, mud, brown. No, I don't need mounds. Well, actually, I do need a little bit because I do need to try to cover up a little bit of this transition area here. Yeah, tiny bit of Z fighting right there, but I will deal with that later. All right, and then let's look at rocks, because I'm definitely going to need some rocks here. That looks like a good rock. How big are you, rock? And it's amazing how much mileage you can get out of a single rock if you just rotate it and pack it in a little bit. All right, so let's get some more rocks in here. That's kind of more of a flat. Now keep in mind, some of these rocks, like these rocks here, don't have bottoms. But this rock does appear to have everything. So actually, you know what? I'm going to drag you over here, lift you up, and scale you, because I need something to block off this with. And all right, let's pull that down. I got to be careful about pulling it down too far, because yeah, I don't want that to happen. Pull it up a little bit. Okay. And you know what? I'm going to be lazy here. And new platforms? Oh, platforms. Nope, don't need platforms. Dude, that thing is huge. Alright, that looks pretty good. Now, the big question is, did I leave enough room for the player to get across there? That Z-fighting flickering is making me nervous. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Alright, let's run a final test, and then we will call it a night. Save. Click on all the buttons just to be safe. Rev up Fallout 4 for the final time for the night. COC Vault 198. Twiddle thumbs. There we go. And my control's locked. Of course. If I COC in just again directly, will that fix the control? No, I gotta actually quit out to the menu. It seems like this bug strikes a lot. I need to see if there's a better way of fixing it beyond quitting back to the main menu. There we go. Can I get through? Yes, I can get through and step into the brightest, most brilliantly lit cave in existence. Which, yeah, it looks like I do need to fix my sun. You can see this. You can see the void, and again, that's why you do these walkthroughs to test to see, can I see void? Can I see what I am not supposed to see? But this one here actually looks pretty good. That came out okay. Maybe. Can I step? There we go. Looks like I was getting caught there, so that's going to take some additional work. Maybe sink that down a little bit. Alright, so I don't think this level's going to be winning any awards or accolades from the community in terms of the brilliance of its design, but it's a great learning level. So tomorrow night we'll come back to this and we'll start taking a look at cluttering and actually making the lights have a little bit more sense. Thank you to everybody who tuned in and to everyone who's watching the archive on this. Have a good night and keep on creating.